So look, as a business owner, I don't know if I consider myself an entrepreneur, a business owner, a businessman. I think it's all sort of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But one thing we chatted about before is procrastination. It's so easy to get caught up doing different things, going, I'm going to do that and that and that. And I don't even know at work, I've got 2-3 screens on operation at any time, and I get caught up just bouncing between screens. Do you have any tips to help people get sort of laser focused when they're doing something to beat that procrastination?
Sure. Yeah. I think that's very, very important. And as I was alluding to earlier, very often I see that the different types of entrepreneurs have a stereotype of procrastination they go to, right? So like the example we were talking about earlier was the artist, but if we go to the business creator, right? Often I find that they're a novelty explorer. So they procrastinate by doing so many new things. And it's actually an active type of procrastination. They explore so many different options, right? Yeah. So for entrepreneurs that are a novelty explorer, where they're exploring loads of ideas, one of the challenges and one of the things that I offer to them to help them with procrastination is about focus. And one of the things that I think is paramount importance is I usually break down, instead of a yearly goal, I tell my clients, and even for myself, I set power year goals. So this is like a 3-month period where you're very honed in and you have one major that you want to accomplish. And by giving yourself that focus, what happens is, as opposed to you working on lots of projects, like you understand what your overlying focus is for the period. And by giving yourself that focus, it allows you to move forward. The other thing is about some sort of boundaries that you have. I find certainly as an entrepreneur, if you've got emails open, if you've got different projects, it's very easy to feel like you're being shifted in lots of directions. And then by 11 a.m., you almost feel burnt out because you've made so many little decisions throughout the day. Like you've got email here, LinkedIn there, podcast there.
There's time to be burnt out.
Yeah, right. And then you get frustrated because your energy isn't at a really, really high state, right? Yeah. So one of the things that I often pose to people is about breaking your day down into certain segments where you can actually focus on one thing and working on proactively working on tasks that affect the long-term growth of the business, as opposed to being reactive. And yes, there's times to look at email, and you can do that in the morning, you could do that in the afternoon. Like there's times to do that. But what I find is if you've got things open that can distract you constantly, it takes away from your task and it stops you really getting the things that you need to get done as an entrepreneur.
100%. I use my calendar for everything. Booking in meetings. I go to my wife, though, if you want me to do something, put it in the calendar or I'm going to forget. And even when it comes time to work on the business strategy or to get a task done, I've set a time on my calendar and I say, I'm going to do it at this time, no ifs or buts. And it's just that laser focused time. And that's what I find works for me. And it's all about finding what works for you. How do you remind yourself to do that?
Yeah, I think it's so important. And I often find recurring tasks in a calendar, whether you're blocking out personal time on whether you're working out and things like that. And that's so important. Like as entrepreneurs, I see so many people saying, I'll get to exercise later. I'll do that later. But if you don't prioritize it, business will take over. And I think it's very important to have those boundaries in place so you can spend time with your family, so you can work out and actually look after yourself, because you are the most important asset in your business as a business owner, to be able to have that viewpoint and to be able to build it in a sustainable way.
Well, the tasks are never ending, right? I mean, as a business owner, there's always something else to work on. There's always something else to go to. There's always something new you can try. So if you don't put that time away from your side, like I know myself, like you can stay up until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just getting on a roll with ideas. So you need to be able to dedicate that time to yourself, I guess, to keep mentally up.
Yeah, it's so important. And one of the things that I speak about with business owners is about the entrepreneur lifestyle, like understanding the lifestyle you want to live as you're building your business, and also the ideal lifestyle you're aiming for. What happens is it gives you a better understanding. If you look at a week and you figure out, okay, well, what would be an awesome week for me, like lifestyle wise? Like, am I seeing friends? Am I relaxing in the evening? Am I just spending time with my wife? Am I going for a walk? And by figuring out that way, what happens is we move away from this addiction of when I have this, then I will. Like when I have this amount of money in the business, then I'll relax, then I'll spend time with the family. Because what happens is we spend so much time focusing on what you feel is a prerequisite to having what you really want, that you're just wasting years in the process. So I think identifying that lifestyle and actually figuring out what you want it to be like is of paramount importance, so that you can build it in a very sustainable way, which is much more enjoyable.
Yeah, man. I talk to my clients and everyone about, goals, vision. Where do you want to be as an individual, and how do we have to structure your life to enable you to achieve that? Because everyone thinks, I can have a goal and I want to do this, this, and this. But if you can set the wheels in motion to try and get there, well, why not? But I've always got told by my father, stop and smell the roses along the way.
Yeah, it's so important, and happiness is not a destination; it's a way of life. And I think very often as entrepreneurs, we can become so obsessed with a goal and a specific target that very often I see entrepreneurs sacrifice everything they care most about to achieve a goal along the way, be it relationships, health, connections. And I think being able to take that time to stop and actually breathe and have patience to just chill out is really important. I also think entrepreneurs need to have a lot more fun as well. I find that there's entrepreneurs that are just working and working, like, you need to chill out, have some fun, like let your hair down, relax. And I find that, I told one of the entrepreneurs I worked with last year, he had his first holiday in a year. He came back, he was just completely different, right? Just a completely different person, looking at the business in a whole different way. And I think that's so key, to give yourself that break and to schedule it in advance, because otherwise it would just go on the back burner.
Yeah, man, 100%. And I see like time away, even spending time with family, going away for a weekend with your family, just tuning out from the world. It brings you a newfound energy when you can do that, especially like because if you're a business owner, you're on emails Saturdays, Sundays, night times, you're taking calls on weekends. You don't get that time to switch off. But if you take that time to switch off, I found it helps me.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And actually it was funny, like during COVID, I was wondering why I was feeling tired. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, Ben, why am I tired? And I was like, oh wait, well, I've been in one place for 4 months and I haven't taken a holiday. And I was like, but it was because everything's locked down, right? You can't take flights, you can't go to different places. And I canceled places, like all my holidays, but I didn't schedule time off. So I decided, I'm just gonna take like a 4-day break. And even that was just re-energizing, because I think, especially with COVID happening, everyone pivoting, like we haven't given ourselves that break and that mini holiday that I think is really revitalizing.
Man, Ben, how much do you go on holidays, man?
A fair amount. I like my lifestyle. Yeah, well, you have to bear in mind, like previously, I'd be flying to different places, like once a month at least. I'd go to different places on the way, like mini holidays, because I find personally I prefer to go on like a 3-4 day holiday. It's like a mini break, and like we could go on like a summer holiday or like skiing for a longer period of time. But for me, I think building that into your ideal lifestyle is really important. Like going to Paris on a weekend because I'm in the UK, like that's a cool thing to do. And it's those many things that I think are really important, that a lot of, like, I had someone say, Ben, how can you do that? And I'm like, it's not like I fell into it. It's because I designed my life in a way that allows me to do that. And I think that's a really important point that people don't get. It's not like you drop into it. It's you work your way towards it and you build in that foundation to allow you to do so.
Yeah, you know what? It's such an important task. Like it's so important what you're saying. You got some people that want to go travel, and like you can go to Paris on a weekend. In where I am, we can go to Tasmania for a weekend. Oh, but I think you got to look at what's important to you. So with us, my weekend or my time off time is important to be spent with family. I've got a young, growing family, and we've got a young family around us. We want to get out and see as much family as we can with our time off. And that's the thing. I think everyone's different. Everyone's got those different important factors to them, and it's so important to shape your life around what you want.